Okay, hodlers, we're going to get deep in the woo. So something I've been thinking about for a while is why I'm so smart. I mean, I know that sounds like a really wanky statement, but I'm thinking about it for a long time because I don't actually think I'm that smart, but it seems as though I just come up with stuff that no one else comes up with, and this happened for a while, and so I started to think about intuition, why I get intuition, because all my discoveries, all my, important thoughts have come from intuitions and feelings that I've later investigated. So I can't say anything important I've come up with has come through thought. It's come through a feeling or an intuition, and then I've later investigated it. So why? None of this made sense to me because so I know some really smart people with very high IQ, probably higher than me, but they're just kind of dense. It's like they have no intuition. It's like the way I think of it. It's like intuition sets the path, and intellect kind of is the steering. Well, I won't say steering. It's like manages the progress, but intuition sets the path. So you could be like in a McLaren sports car, but if you're on the wrong path, it doesn't matter. You're better off with a guy with the right path in a Toyota. You'll still get there faster. So it seems to me that intuition is what sets the path. So where does this intuition come from? So I mean, I did have this kind of inclination for a while that it does come from past lives. So because I'm thinking like the feelings, the guidance that I seem to get, it's no chance it could have happened through my own doing or my subconscious even, because my subconscious was not exposed to all this stuff that suddenly I get intuition about. So it'll tell me what to read, it'll tell me what to look at, it'll tell me which ancient site to look at, it'll tell me what to investigate. So like it tells you which facts matter, and instead of wasting time on facts that don't matter. And intuition is what I think what does that. So then we're going to ask ourselves, where does this come from? Why some people have it and some don't? A good example is Trump. I think he's got his intuitions off the chart. You can just tell he smells what's happening, and because he feels what's happening rather than think, he can sort of anticipate. He can sort of like he's 5 steps ahead of everyone because he kind of feels what's happening, and it appears as though he's like an idiot, but his intuition is actually off the scales, in my estimation. So he's like the Toyota who's always on the right path, rather than the McLaren who's like, doesn't know which path to go on. So, you had this conversation with an old Chinese lady once, and she said, I must have had a lot of past lives, because she said my intuition is very strong, and that got me thinking. It must be something that's accumulated. It must be, because there's no way this kind of it's almost like psychic sort of powers comes in one lifetime. I just don't think it happens. I know that sounds woo woo, but it just doesn't. It doesn't. So one day, about a couple of years ago, I was looking at ancient rocks. Rock sites. This is just one example. This happened on a few different things, and then I was like fixated on these ancient megalithic rock sites, and I was just looking at them for months at work. And then one day, it was a Friday night, and I was looking at these rocks, and I thought to myself, why the fuck am I looking at rocks on a Friday night? Like, it just seemed really It's just suddenly occurred to me. It was the most bizarre thing. And then it hit me. Something else was telling me what to do. I realized my intuition was telling me to investigate this area. And then from that investigation, I learned about ancient civilizations. And from that investigation, I learned about Hermetics. And from that investigation, I learned about mythology, and it goes on and on. So your intuition is extremely powerful, because it sets you on a path that you may never conceive of. That is where the treasure is. Your intellect is just not that bright. Your intellect is just like, it's like an autistic sort of machine. It may analyze things, but it can never set a direction. Of that kind of sort of power. Okay. So I mean, Cliff High, he said he's convinced intuition is what it is the essence of your past lives. So whatever you've learned in past lives is condensed into an essence that passes on. So this is a bit confusing, because it's like an essence of what's learnt, rather than it doesn't remember anything, because it wouldn't be practical to remember all your past lives. You just go insane. So it's like an essence that draws the essence of what was learnt. It's like if you make a sort of soup, or like a stock, and you evaporate everything, and you just keep the essence of what happened. So that's my understanding. Your intuition is the essence of your past lives. So I've always had a connection with the Egyptian mythology. So I could be the reincarnation of Horemheb. I don't know. It's possible, but intuition is one to think about, and where it comes from, because nothing important has ever come from intellect. Intellect is just like an autistic computer. It just post-analyzes stuff. Yeah. So it's just one to think about. Hodl.